Another chapter in the never-ending saga of chaos that is Alpine Formula 1. They've announced today, just ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix, that the team principal, Bruno Famin, is going to be leaving the role at the end of August, i.e. he's been sacked. Now, Alpine's performance this year has been disappointing, massively disappointing. It's well below where they want to be. They started off as genuinely the slowest team on the grid. They had a resurgence, they got some points, but really they're in 8th place and they're a long way behind Haas and RB. They're not that far ahead of Williams. It's not out of the question for even Sauber to catch them. Alpine could still end up 2024 as the lowest place constructor in the championship. There's still a long way to go in this championship, and there doesn't really appear to be much in the way of an improvement from where they were. I mean, yeah, they've improved since the start of the season, but they've very much stagnated since then. Whatever updates they've been bringing to the car has not really worked. Here's a statement from Alpine themselves. They said, BWT Alpine F1 team can confirm that Bruno Famin will move away from his current role as team principal of the F1 division by the end of August. Bruno will be in charge of all other motorsport activities of the Renault group at Viry-Châtillon. A new team principal will be announced in due course. So he's remaining within Renault Alpine, but he's leaving as team principal. It's obviously not working out. So I can understand it in that sense, but it's yet another sacking. It's yet another team principal that's coming in. I mean, it's barely been a year since the previous team principal, Otmar Safnauer, left his position. And to be honest, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but if I remember correctly, he was basically sacked for speaking out against the team, saying where, things are not working because of the people higher up for me, which I absolutely applaud him for doing. But at the end of the day, that was always going to get him sacked. From what I could tell, Famin, I mean, he made a bold decision to get rid of Ocon in the way that he did for next year. I applaud him for that. But you don't know if that decision was taken from somebody else further up. And you just know, not to point fingers here, but you just know that a certain Mr. Briatore definitely had a hand in this decision. There's been a lot of upheaval since he's come back into the team. Surprise, surprise. And this is probably the biggest change in his very short tenureship in the Renault Alpine board. And it's all coming as well as Alpine, or should I say Renault, are more than thinking about scrapping their engine program for F1 and potentially becoming a customer of Mercedes, potentially teaming up with Cadillac GM over in America to produce engines, because they clearly think that they can't do it themselves and make it a success because they have no customer teams. This is what I've been saying this whole time, this whole speculation about what they're going to do with their engines going forward. They have no customer teams. Nobody wants their engines. No one wants to buy them. They'd much rather go to Ferrari or Mercedes, or we've got Honda coming in, we've got Ford coming in, we've potentially got Cadillac coming in as well, and Audi of course too. So no one wants Renault engines. Why would they? They've shown today in practice for the Belgian Grand Prix that they're very unreliable. They're the most unreliable and underpowered engine on the grid. Who would want them? Unless they're massively discounted for a team that's struggling financially. Who would want them? Nobody. So who's going to come in? Don't know. Just some random dude in the team. Could be anybody. It doesn't matter. It's just going to be a figurehead who's going to get sacked again in another 12 months, maybe less. It's just what Alpine do. It's just another sorry episode in what is a absolute failure of a Formula 1 outfit. They came in wanting to win races regularly and looked like they were going to potentially do it after 21, but since then they've regressed. They've had one win with Esteban Ocon. That was a freak result in Hungary. That was not on pure pace. That was because of a ridiculous set of circumstances and a driver that was absolutely incredible that day. So yeah, what's your guys' thoughts on it? I think it's laughable again. I think it's pathetic, to be honest, but it's Alpine. It's not a surprise. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know who you think is going to take over in the role. And yeah, subscribe, like, comment, follow, share, all that good stuff. Ring the bell for much more Formula 1 breaking news just like this.